Shalom, Apostle, I'm back at Truth is Truth, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem, Shai Bashem, Pakwadash. And I'm going to entitle this video Armageddon, turning the things upside down, and oikoumene. But basically, I'm just going to pull out those words, upside down. I'm going to do a word search on the blue letter. I went through this before I, did this video, and the words upside down appear, I don't know, 10 times. I'll pull it up again. So I read through them. I said I'll read every last one of them. The key reason is because of Acts chapter 17, and I'll get into that in a minute. Because that's what we're doing. We're turning the world upside down. That's why I mentioned oikoumene, because when you look up the word world, when you go to the scriptures, and you come across the word world as Christians, the average everyday Christian's knowledge of the scriptures is very limited. They're on a beastly level. The only ones that truly understand the scriptures are the so-called scholars among Esau. That's why I go to the, the commentary just to see what they're thinking. And sometimes, like I said before, they either hit or miss. Sometimes they'll tell you exactly what a prophetic breakdown means, or as they say, hermeneutics. And sometimes they don't say too much because either they don't know or they know, but basically they come to the realization that could be talking about them, talking about Esau. If they were truly honest, they would know in their studies, they would know what is meant by Babylon, the book of Revelation. They would know who the Edomites are. That's just two of the things that they would know and understand. A third thing, they would know who the Israelites are, solely based on their study of the scriptures. If they should ask themselves, who are the Israelites today? Anyway, this is what I'm going to do. I'll do it this way. I'm going to start at, let me just read the whole chapter. And what we're doing is turning the world upside down based upon Acts 17 chapter. And we're doing it, when I say we, I'm talking about GMS and even the other groups out there stemming from One West. We're doing it even faster than what the Apostle Paul did. The Apostle Paul covered a lot of ground and awakened Jacob. And you'll see that in Acts 17 chapter, which is a very important chapter, covers a lot. What we have that the Apostle Paul and the other apostles didn't have is the internet. It's YouTube. You got groups, One Westers, they'll go on YouTube, Facebook. They'll put they'll go on TikTok. They'll go on all kind of sites. Only site you need is YouTube. Because why would I watch a video on YouTube and say, well, let me go to TikTok? They're going to say the same goddamn thing. And another site that we use is Odyssey. I put my more controversial videos on Odyssey. There's certain videos you just know that if you put it on YouTube, they're gonna strike it. Odyssey, as of right now, until they pull them to the side, Odyssey, you put up any controversial video, you can go in, and they're not gonna mess with you as of right now. And there's a czar for misinformation right about now that they're setting up, because with everything going on in the age of the internet, the age of information, anytime you have so-called experts saying this, this and that, and the third, you're going to have alternative media, which were amateur people that found sites like YouTube and put it up there. So, a lot of people that are waking up, not really watching the Foxes. Well, you got this guy, Tucker Carlson, which he rolled up on us years ago. We got a video on him. I believe it's called Tucker Carlson Pays a Visit to GMS. And that was put up, that took place 2014. And he walked like he figured he was walking like he's a regular Edomite walking down the street, and he just happened to see us. And he's figuring, and the first thing I said was, "Are you a newscaster?" Because I remembered his name. I remember when he was on CNN. That's how far back I remember this guy. He was on CNN. Then he went from CNN to MSNBC, and then you didn't see him for a while. Then he popped up on Fox, and he's, in my opinion, then if you're gonna watch any show on Fox, I mean, you got Sean Hannity, he's up there. But in my opinion, I mean, I don't watch Fox that much, but I'll catch it on YouTube, certain shows. But mainly, I'll watch any shows that Tucker Carlson might put up, because he does he goes in. I can't believe it. He goes in. Anything that CNN is saying, he's got saying the opposite. But he's an insider. He wouldn't have that job. He wouldn't be making the money that he makes. He's doing good. But when he rolled up on myself, I said, I forgot his name. I wasn't sure. Carlson was one of his names, but I forgot his name. And as soon as he left, I said, Tucker Carlson. So I said, "Are you one of those news people on TV?" And he said, "No." Because he figured, well, these are Jake's. Jake's gonna be watching talking head shows. That's all I do is watch talking head shows. So, you can watch that video if you like. And he was concerned about, the main thing he was concerned about, he kept saying, "But why am I going into slavery? But why am I going into slavery?" Well, if you understood the scriptures, he that leads into captivity shall go into captivity. Anyway, let me just go ahead and read this. Revelation 6, verse 1, and Revelation 16, verse 1. "And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, Go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of the Most High upon the earth." And we're in the time of the fulfilling of John's Revelations, or the book of Revelation. It says, "And the first went out and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his images." It's not a picture of Caesar Borgia. You should be ashamed of yourself, Bishop Nathaniel, saying that the image is a picture of Caesar Borgia. Ain't nobody lined up to get the jump shot, and somebody pull out a picture of Caesar Borgia talking about, yeah, kiss it, kiss it. It says, kiss the son, at least he be angry, Psalms 2. So we know what this is talking about. It says a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which took, had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image. And now you can't just say, I'm just going to worship his image. I'm not going to take the charagma. No, you take the charagma because you worship the image. And the image is talking about the Roman system reincarnated, let's say it that way. The leaders of this country were the leaders of ancient Rome. So when you look into the word noisome and grievous sore, it's a cancer. And I'm not going to go all into it. It says, I mean, I can break this second verse down, and I'll be here for the next 15, 20 minutes or so. So if you don't understand it, you meet me on the comment board. Anyway, it says, in the second angel, excuse me, and the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea. Bear me for 1 minute. Okay, so we're in the third verse. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea. Now, if you go to Revelation, the 8th chapter, it goes more into what it's talking about the sea, the waters. Because when these missiles are shot off from one end of the earth to the other, it's going to contaminate the waters. So it's going to contaminate the Atlantic, which is on the east coast of Babylon, and it's going to contaminate the Pacific Ocean, which is on the west coast. So those waters will be contaminated. So, and the contamination is going to go to other countries too. So you can't, everything that's in the waters are going to die at a certain mile mark, let's say. So part of the earth will be contaminated, and it will have to be cleansed again. And there's going to be, you talk about a supply chain issue. There's going to be a major supply chain issue because everybody on the planet Earth is going to be affected by the downfall of Babylon the Great. Because there's going to be missiles shot from submarines and missiles shot from ships and missiles shot from those particular countries. 4th verse. And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of waters, and they became blood, meaning they became anything that was, touched by the radiation from the missiles were dead. So you would have dead fish out there, and if you were to eat those dead fish, you would become contaminated, poisoned. And I heard the angel of the waters say, "Thou art righteous, O Yahweh, which art and was and shall be." And shall be is the name of the Most High. He shall be. He is. Because thou hast judged thus. And what was the judgment? The taking down of this system. For they have, 6th verse, for they have shed the blood of saints. So why was this place taken down? Because they have shed the blood of saints and prophets. Who are the saints and who are the prophets? The prophets are the elect of Israel, and the saints, you have the elect among the saints. The saints, that tells you that in Psalms, was at 148, about the saints of the Most High. It also tells you that in Psalms 50:5, gather my saints unto me, those that made a covenant by sacrifice. So you think immediately what people made a covenant by sacrifice with the power above. It was Israelites in the wilderness. It says, for the 6th verse again, for they have shed the blood of saints, which are Israelites. When they first got over here, they killed many of the Gadites, the Reubenites. They went up into Canada. You had Gad all up in Canada. They went down into Central and South America, and they killed a lot of them off, the islands. The prophets, the kings, because all the kings, they suffered the slavery, including King David. King David, pursuant to Deuteronomy 28:36, it said, "Ye and your king shall go into captivity." So King David, the chief king of Israel, went into he had to suffer captivity. He had to die. He's put on a ship. He had to work in the field or whatever the Esau says. That's why we want part of the gospel or glad tidings or good news is that's why it says, here is the patience and the faith of the saints. He that leaves in captivity shall go into captivity. And they don't like that. That's why Tucker Carlson said, but why am I going into slavery? Because you're an Edomite. And thou has given them blood to drink. Now, we're not going to drink Esau's blood. This is poetic for, we're going to take them over. We're going to own them. We're going to take their riches. We're going to have control over them, but we're not going to eat them. Now, Esau in slavery used to eat Jacob. For real. For they are worthy. And who are the ones that are worthy? The prophets are worthy. Now, I want to say this. Let me go over here. You got our people that wake up to the fact that they're Israelites and they'll join with a camp, and they don't know the seriousness of this. Okay, so now this right here, okay, Water of Wrath, chief musician. This was put up April 14, 2022. And let me show you something. Remember, Water of Wrath, chief musician. No videos. We were talking about 15, 16 days ago, no content. No, nothing. That's all you got. So let me go here. I hate to be that ninja, but I'm gonna be that ninja. Okay, where is it? Okay, this is it right here. Upload X IUIC member comes to GMS camp. So when you see, I'm pretty sure you saw the video. There's over 1,000 views. You know, I heard the whole video, so I said, wait a minute. Okay, so if you saw the video, if you watched the video, it was about a guy that came up to the camp, to their particular camp, and I believe this is Rochester. And hey, hey, all praises to you, brothers, for holding it down up there. You're gonna get your reward, trust me. Okay, so what I did was, okay, this is the video that I put up, which is a re-upload. So let me look at the comments. And like I said, watch the whole video because there's one guy that says, yeah, I was part of the IUIC and I saw all the corruption, the wickedness, you know, this, that, and the third. And I followed GMS and the MOTB and all that. Okay, I'm trying to find. Okay, okay, I found this one. Okay, Water of Wrath, chief musician, right? I'm that guy who he is talking about. Nicholas Israel, me too, brother. I used to be with them too, and I'm gone as well. Water of Wrath, chief musician. Yeah, how many you got? Laugh out loud. Okay, he says a whole lot. Anyway, like I said, I want to focus on this individual that's spoken about in the video because he says it. I'm the guy that they're talking about, and then Nicholas Israel pretty much says the same thing. Me too, brother. I used to be with them too, and I'm gone as well. Let me click on his page. Okay, there's no information. Now this was put up a year ago, almost a year ago. No videos, nothing, no players. So, and these individuals that said that identified themselves that they're down with the IUIC and they left IUIC for corruption and wickedness. And then the main guy, let's come back over here. And the individual, if you watch the video, this individual says that he follows us and he teaches. And why didn't he just get with these brothers? If he said, can I join your camp? He didn't. He said, I'm going to do my own thing, but I do it the GMS way, right? But like I said, if you go to his page, which I did, there's absolutely nothing on it. It's dormant. They're not taking this truth seriously. They became disenchanted, but they acknowledge what they thought the true camp is, but they're not following up. They're not following up at all. The scriptures speak about doing the work. Then the Lord say, my meat is to do the will of him. My meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish his work. It says, he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. So these two guys, whether it's sincere or not, you took hold of the plow and you look back. You became disenchanted. A lot of these guys become disenchanted. There was one clown, Miguel TV, the Simeonite, that wants to be an Edomite. He was a part of the One West during the time of Tazadakia, and he became disenchanted because of the corruption. But guess what? He got so messed up by what Tazadakia did to him and others that he don't even believe in the Most High no more. He from time to time he goes on this guy, infamous Vocab Malone, and Vocab Malone don't give a damn about him because the guy's an atheist. Now, according to Christianity, if you're an atheist, you're definitely going to Hades, right? Sha'al. You're definitely going to Hades. You're definitely going to hell. Vocab is not pulling to the side and saying, look, brother, you got to come back and you got to believe in him, because he don't care. All Vocab believes in, all he's about is demonizing the Israelites. That's why we call him Haman. Okay, so let me get back to this. So let me get back to this breaking it down, interpretation, hermeneutics, whatever you want to call it. And hermeneutics is about looking up root words. That's really what it's about. When these so-called scholars, when they do their commentary, they'll give you the word. Well, this is from the Hebrew word, this, and that from the Hebrew word, that, and that's from the Greek word, and this is this, and that's that. Let's pull up a map. That's hermeneutics. And Christians, the average everyday Christian, they don't deal with anything that has to do with interpretation or hermeneutics. So when they'll say John 3:16, and they'll say, "For God so loved the world, the whole world." If you say, "Well, what is the word there for world?" They're the whole world. You say, "What is the difference between when you come across the word world in the New Testament?" There's Greek words, three major words: eon, cosmos, and oikomeni. What's the difference between oikomeni and eon? They won't know. Now the scholars know, but they don't know. Anyway, it says, and I heard another out of the altar say, even so, Lord, power almighty, true and righteous are thy works. I want to say this too. I put out an order a while ago, and I put it out recently, about having long hair, dreadlocks, all that. Men not supposed to have long hair. There's guys that got long hair. So I'm gonna deputize all you brothers to find out who these guys are and let them know. And if they continue to do it, they're out the camp. All right. Yeah, but this is how I get the galleys. Well, guess what? Join the IUIC or join the ISCPK. You can have a Vikings helmet on your head. You can do whatever the hell you want with these guys. You can put a tattoo of menorah on your forehead and be down with any of these other groups. It says 8th verse, and the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. Ultimately, this place is going to be. Now, this is visions that, remember, these are visions that the Apostle John saw, like the beast. He actually saw an actual beast. he actually saw an actual woman sitting on the beast. He didn't know what it was about, but to him, that woman was fine as hell, because it said, I wondered with great admiration. Look that word up. It's like a lustful love. But what did it represent? It represents Babylon the Great, represents the NATO and the EU. So him seeing the sun doesn't necessarily mean it's talking about actual angels, but he saw the vision of the angels. But what did it really mean? That this place is going to get destroyed, mainly by fire. He said that he saw the stars falling from heaven. What did he actually see? He saw the ICBMs pelting the earth. He saw Babylon the Great. He saw the shipping stations. He saw all of that. He didn't understand what it meant. These visions were so vivid, like in the case of Daniel, that he got sick. Revelation 16, verse 9. And I'm going to say this too. You got a lot of Israelite groups out there that came from One West, that when you go to their pages, they don't do these interpretations. They don't give you, a lot of time they just talk shit. I'm with my boy here. This is my new album that's going to drop. You got to be, hey, I'm going to say this, me, myself, we go back and forth with Sakari, but guess what? The Sakari, they go in, they teach. They go into what's called hermeneutics, interpretations. They break things. I'm going to say it the way we said it back in the day, One West Day, we break it down. I'll say this again. Al-Azhar did an excellent breakdown on the MO. And that was why I watched the whole thing. I said, damn, he said he breaking it down. I said I couldn't do it better myself. Deacon Akar, I would go back and forth too, but he goes in. He get good, very good topics. Sometime I'll go to him and see what he's talking about, and I might build upon that. And then others of GMS. You got men that I go to men, but if I wanted a topic, I'll go to them and I'll say, I'm gonna build on the topic that he spoke on. I'm gonna go a little deeper into it. And sometimes they do it with me. I'll do a video and they'll build on that. It's all about building. Edification, the word edification really means to build from within out. And is the word edifice, construe, to understand something. Construe comes from the word, that's where you get the word construction, to build upon. 9th verse. And I mentioned upside down, or the world being upside down. And I said oikomeni. I may not cover that in this video. I'll do it in the next video, because I'm already almost 40 minutes in, 30 plus minutes in. It says, and I know how Jake's attention span is, and men were scorched with great heat and blasphemed the name of the Most High. And that heat ultimately represents the destruction. Now, in the interim, before the destruction, you can have heat waves. They speak about solar flares, but the main heat that's going to affect them is the heat from the missiles, the radiation from the missiles. Isaiah chapter 14 speaks about the besom of destruction. As a matter of fact, let me go to that. Isaiah 14. I'll start at 29. I hope that's, I can't see it. Where is it? Is it up here? Bear with me for a minute. Okay, it's way up here. You really got to read. Well, you really got to read this whole beautiful chapter. A lot of time we go into the first couple of verses, and jump around, but you got to get the whole, break it down, get the whole understanding. Let's start from the 20th verse, Isaiah 14, verse 20. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers, Esau, you're the seed of evildoers, shall never be renowned. You're not going to come back anymore. Then we're going to gather you up. And Obadiah 1:18, your ass. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, for what your forefathers did. Well, it wasn't me, it was my forefathers. Well, you're going to pay for what your forefathers did. Well, that's not fair. Paul said, is there unrighteousness with the Most High? Most High does what he wants to do. And you're paying for what your forefathers did, because you're your forefathers and coming back in the reincarnation. That they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against him, saith the Lord of hosts, Yahweh, and cut off from Babylon. Now we know this is not talking about ancient Babylon. The name and remnant and son and nephew, saith Yahweh. I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith Yahweh of hosts. So let me look up the word. And that didn't happen in ancient Babylon. It was a surgical strike. As I always say, Darius the Mede put out an order. He found out that these guys were drunk, the king of Babylon and his lords, and they just rolled up in there and slit their throats, stabbed them up, whatever. It was no long-term war. It was a surgical strike, took out the leadership, and just took the subjects and just made that a province of ultimately the Medo-Persian Empire. So let me look up the word besom. Mata'ata, broom. And the dust from that broom, that proverbial broom, is the radiation. It says a broom as removing dirt. English, to dust, remove dust. And it's going to be a hot wind. Where's that at, man? Bear me for a minute. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, that's what I wanted, destroying the wind. Jeremiah 51:1, thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will rise up against Babylon, a modern Babylon, new Babylon, and or daughter Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me, a what? A destroying wind. When you look up the word wind, that's that besom of destruction. Okay, Rawak. That's another way you say spirit. Rawak. Like if you say Basham Rakak you could say Basham Rawak Kadash. So it says wind, breath, mind, spirit. The breath that was put in us in Ezekiel 37 is that spirit. There was a spirit put upon us. But this destroying wind is actually the after the missile hits ground zero, that radiation. So if you're not in the area of the missile hitting and you're 10 miles away, you're still going to get destroyed anyway. And that's what's going to contaminate those bodies of water, Atlantic and the Pacific. Okay, let me come back. Okay, Revelation 16, verse 9. And men were scorched with great heat and blasphemed the name of these other nations. They're going to curse out the Most High. God, you did it, you did it. That's in, bear with me for a minute. It's, let me go to 2 precepts here. Let me go to Revelation 9. Yeah, 9 and 21. Right, it says 19, Revelation 9 and 19, for their power. Yeah, you got, I remember ISUPK saying that this is talking about the angels. 16 verse, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, which is 200 million, and I heard the number of them. And they say that that's talking about angels. No, that's talking about missiles. '18 verse, by these 3 was the third part of men killed by the fire and by the smoke and by the fire is the actual destruction. The smoke is the what do you call that? The wind. There's another word. The word escapes me. How would you call that, man? The outflow. Somebody help me out. It was in my mind. It left my mind. I said by the smoke and by the brimstone, which issued out of their mouths, and the mouths are the warhead, the multiple warheads that come out of the warhead itself. It says, for their power is in their mouths, which is the multiple warheads, and in their tails, which is the delivery system, the rocket. For their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, the heads of the multiple warheads. And with them, they hurt to the point of what? Killing you. And the rest of the men which were not killed, because you're going to have Edomites living outside of America. Revelation 18, I went through that the other day. They're going to stand afar off, meaning they're going to be in Europe and China, all over the world. And it says, and the rest of the men, talking about Edomites, which were, and the other nations, which were not killed by these plagues, which are the missiles, yet repented not of their works. That's why we're going to go around and we're going to fuck them up, and we're going to shackle them, and we're going to give them work assignments, which means slavery. of their works of their hands, that they should not worship devils, because the elite among Esau is who? They worship devils. I'll tell you that in Isaiah 47:10 on down. Their power comes from the left-hand side. And idols of gold, now that's these churches. They're going to run to those churches, and we're going to pull them right out of them daggone churches. And silver and brass and stone and the wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. Now, what are he talking about? Talking about idols made out of gold and silver and brass and wood. Neither repented they of their murders when they first got over here, Christopher Columbus, nor of their sorceries, their wickedness. They want to be wicked. They love murdering, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. Talking about Esau, number one on the list. They're going to say, nah, we didn't do that. Nah, like they're doing now. You got a critical race theory. You can't speak about slavery in schools because it's going to offend the little white kids. You're really going to be offended when we get you in the kingdom. Let's come back to Revelation. And you guys out there that's, got your hands in your pocket, you're twiddling your thumbs. You do a video once every 2 weeks. That means you're lukewarm. You really don't want to do this, man. If you the way you read the Song of Solomon, he was talking about a woman, but he was really talking about the wisdom, which is a woman and the Most High. That was all parabolic songs that Solomon sung. And he sung it like how you get a woman and this woman looked good, right? You go to a club or wherever you meet a woman, and you say, wow, she looked good. And you don't realize that she's digging on you. And then you realize it and y'all get together and you set your what do you call it? Your day of events around her. Everything is centered around her. If she wants to go out at 4 o'clock and you're going to do something at 4 with your boys, you're going to say, well, look, I got to do something. And then they realize, they'll get on you and say, man, what you going to that woman? They get mad at you, man. You do everything centered around that woman because you're into that woman. Well, guess what? This truth right here is a fine ass woman, super fine, as we used to say back in the day. You ain't gonna make her mad. You're gonna be there. Come pick me up at 4:30. You be there at 4 o'clock. I remember I was dealing with this one chick, and the brothers ran into her in the Brooklyn. They said, "Who's that?" And I remember Barack saying, "Oh, that's who was it? Yashawan." He said, "That's Tahar's wife." They were like, "Tahar's wife? Wow! Oh my goodness, she looked good." And then I remember Elder Barack said, because she told me, Elder Barack said, "Where did he find you?" And she said, "He didn't find me. We found each other." But anyway, this long story short, this was years ago. And it wasn't because I was, she lived in Brooklyn, right? With her family and so forth. So I said, I'm not gonna go back home, for nothing. I pull up at a gas station and for a couple of hours, went to sleep, and I picked her up, I guess she had to go to the airport or some shit like that. But it wasn't because I was overwhelmed. Oh my goodness, no, I was just there, a man. If you driving on the highway and you get tired, you see a station on the side, you pull over, and I did that many a times. Put a prayer up, went to sleep for 3-4 hours. The sun hit me in the face, and I keep it moving. So at that time, I was really into that woman, and she was really into me. And that's how you got to be with this truth. You come into this truth. This is a fine, like I said, read the Song of Solomon. We should do videos breaking down, going into the hermeneutics or the interpretation of what Solomon is all about. I remember Priest Dunyala, a couple of years back, he mentioned the Book of Solomon. He made a statement. He said, "Oh, that's Solomon, you know, reading, saying poems to his wife." And I was taken aback. I said, "No, that's deeper than that. Because it ain't about a woman. It's talking about wisdom, you know? It ain't talking about his mama. I wish that you would suck the breast of my mother." What fool in his right mind, man in his right mind, gonna come? You gonna come to the house and say, "Oh, that's my mother. I want you to suck my mom's titties." No, it's parabolic for the truth. When you read the Song of Solomon, all the chapters of the Songs of Solomon is talking about his love for the Most High and wisdom, which is a feminine spirit. And that was Yahweh Shai. It says, 9th verse, "And men were scorched with great heat and blasphemed the name of the Most High, which have power over these plagues." And that plague, Psalm 91, the major plague are the missiles. What is that? Isaiah 54. "And they repented not to give him glory." So guess what? Esau gonna say, "I ain't following no black God. I ain't following no nigga." And so we're gonna spend some time beating the fuck out of them, man. They're gonna get beat down and they're gonna get killed. And they're gonna come, they're gonna say, they're gonna that pride, we're gonna beat the pride out of them. They're gonna get, yo, brother, they're gonna get brothers and sisters. There's gonna be some hell put on these Edomites, man. And then they're gonna come to the conclusion that we can't do nothing. I'm tired of getting my ass whooped. I'm tired of getting messed up. Let me just go ahead. And then I see in the beginning, some of them gonna try to escape, but we're gonna have spiritual power. And we'll send certain animals after them, man. Oh, they're gonna, believe me, they're gonna be programmed to do the right thing. After they get their ass whipped enough, they're gonna get some get right. And this is why Vocab Malone is so determined to make us, to demonize us. Why? Because the heads over him, they did the studies and they said, "Yep, these are the Israelites." I did a video last night, short one. I hope you watch the whole video, but this individual, Fred Price Jr., he came straight out and said that we are the Israelites. Then at the last 2-3 minutes or so, 4 minutes, he went into the Compact Bible, the Zandervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Who is known for going into that dictionary, pulling out that dictionary? Us, the Israelites, long before YouTube. And he went to where it said Ham. So he's been watching us. It says, "And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast." The seat of the beast is here right now. "And his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongue for pain." They keep talking about food shortages and power blackouts and so forth. And that happened a couple of years back in California, where the lights would go off and it'd come back on, because they want to make your life so uncomfortable. So when they present the charagma to you, you'll be glad to take it. The juicy juice was just a trial run, just to see how you react to it. And the masses of the people are still in a deep sleep, especially you wacky tacky Christians. Okay, Revelation 16:11. "And blaspheme the Most High heaven because of their pains and their sores." Hold up, because of their pains and their sores, right? Because of their pains and their sores. Did we see that word again? It says sore. Who's going to have the sword? The ones that took the charagma. Revelation 16, verse 2. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image. That, no, I'm going to go back to 16, 11 verse, I'm sorry. And blasphemed the Most High of heaven. We just read that in Revelation 9. Because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds. We didn't do nothing wrong. 12 verse. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the waters thereof was dried up, that drought, that the way of the kings of the east, the kings of the Middle East, might be prepared. Armageddon. Now, when you look up the word Armageddon, the word means arm or harm, or like harm. What is it? I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my health. Psalm 21. And the word for mountains or hills is Aharium, if I'm pronouncing it right. So this means mountain of troops. God, Gad, or God is Gad, like the tribe of Gad. The word Gad means troops. A troop shall overcome them. So it means mountain of troops. And that's the fulfillment of that is also in Revelation 20, verse 7. They went up into the breadth of the earth, and they compassed the camps of the saints. As a matter of fact, let's go to that real quick. Okay, Revelation 20. And when the 1,000 years were expired, Satan, which is the spirit, this physical counterpart of the devil, should be loose out of his prison. That's talking about 1492, key year, Renaissance period, and shall go out to deceive the nations. Now they first deceived them in the name of Christianity, right? Now they're deceiving them and taking the charagma and the system, which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog. Tony's talking about Russia, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth. The breadth of the earth is talking about Israel. And that region, which is called the Fertile Crescent or the Levant. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints. The camp of the saints are Israelites. The camp of the saints is also our land. About, and the beloved city. We are the beloved city, and the actual place is the beloved city. And fire came down from the Most High out of heaven and devoured them. What fire is it talking about? The fire that the Most High put in the minds of these scientists pursuant to Isaiah 54. I believe that's Isaiah 54, verse 16 to be exact. Okay, mouth of the beast. Thirteenth verse. And I saw three unclean spirits like fire come out of the mouth of the dragon. The dragon is interchangeable with the word beast. When you go to Revelation chapter 12, that dragon is talking about the Roman Empire. The dragon today is talking about a part of this system. This would be London, England. You have three city states, right? The beast, the city state of the beast is Langley, Virginia, Washington, D.C. The city state of the dragon is London. with the Rothschilds and the super rich adder. That's the financial part, that's the military part, and the false prophet, the city state is Vatican City. That's not Babylon. And out of the mouth of the beast and out of the mouth of the false prophet. It tells you that in, let me go to that, Habakkuk. Habakkuk 2. What profit the graven image? Roman Catholic Church is known for their graven images. That the maker, which comes from the Renaissance, that maketh thereof hath graven it, the molten image, and a teacher of lies. That the maker of his work trusteth therein, because you trust in to make dumb idols. So you make the image, and then you got to put a story behind the image. That's why you got to teach it. So that the first teacher in line is the RCC. Then you got the Baptist, the Methodist, the Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventist, the Pentecost. And guess what? They all got that same image of what they call Jesus, which is Caesar Borgia. And they don't understand that. And these Christians are stupid. You can't get any more stupider than them. I've been going to church for the last 50 years. And you don't know shit. All you know is one scripture, John 3:16. Okay, we're back. 14th verse. For they are the spirit of devils working miracles, and their miracles is their technology, which you can damn near do. If you lose your smartphone, you're going to damn near drop dead because all that information that's in it, which you can take pictures with it. You can do everything but open up a bottle of beer with it. You can go to sites, you can go to the Google, you can get apps to like go to, you lost, you want to go to a particular place, you go to the app, whether it be Scout, Waze, Google Maps. It works with the GPS, Global Positioning Sensor, which is work with the satellites. But they are the spirit of devils working miracles, their technology, which go forth unto the kings of the earth. Everybody got the technology of Esau and of the whole world. That's in the oikoumene sense, to gather them to the battle at that great day of the Most High Almighty. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments. Now, what does that mean in a nutshell? The ones of you that come into this truth, if you're called and chosen and become the chosen, meaning you're elect. A lot of you was called, but a lot of you were not chosen. That's why you fell off. He that turneth his back upon the plow is not fit for the kingdom. So this is an important precept, 15th verse. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth, and we're constantly watching. I'm doing every single day of the week. If I'm not in front of a computer, I might be talking to a brother. We're talking about the truth. I'm thinking about the truth. I watch the news. I filter the news through the scriptures. And you got guys that are just, they doing them. They going on vacation with their girl. They ain't thinking about the truth for a month. Then they come back and then they'll do a video. And then you don't see them do a video for another 2 weeks or another 6 months or never. They might start doing videos, then they just stop. Most I ain't dealing with you guys, with you individuals. See them two, the one brother that rolled up on the GMS brothers, I believe that was Rochester, New York. He said, yeah, I used to be part of the IUIC, and they were corrupt and they were wicked. And I left them, but I followed GMS. And the first thing I said, well, and when the brother said it in the video, I said, well, wait a minute, why didn't he say, well, can I join with you guys? Or why didn't he keep coming back every week? Because the Most High took the spirit from him. Matthew 13, what about the 12th verse? Take away even that he hath. So the little knowledge that you had, the Most High took it back. And IUIC was nothing but a stumbling block for you to come into the truth and then fall back out the truth. Just keeping it real. And keeping it real goes wrong. And it's going wrong for you guys that have fallen out. Went back into the world like everything. And you don't believe that the missiles are coming. You don't believe that the Lord's coming. You don't believe that you're Israelites. Some of you clowns go back into the Christian church. Revelation 16:15, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watches, and we're watching, and keepeth his garments. What does the garments represent? It's parabolic for having this truth on you. Lest he walk naked. What does it mean, lest he walk naked? You're without the truth. Might see a guy that's a part of the camp, and 2 years later, you see him walking down the street past the camp, and he sees you and he goes to running. Well, that happened. There's one guy, he saw us and he went to running because we saw his nakedness, and they see his shame. Let me look up the word shame. You don't play with the Most High. You don't cut your own hair, and you don't play with the Most High. I cut my own hair. Okay, so the word there, I'll let you hear it. You heard it. I'm not going to try to say it. It says unseemliness, unseemly deed of woman's genitals, of one's nakedness or shame. Okay, boom. Romans 1 verse 27. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burn in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and the word is shameful. Now, we were speaking a couple of weeks, and there were two Jakes holding hands, and they were holding, had smiles on their faces, and we looked at them, right? And you know what they did? They quickly, they separated themselves. Why? Because they were ashamed. Because see, Esau, he don't have no shame. He'll walk around with another man. He don't give a shit because he's a devil. But Jake is a righteous spirit doing wicked things. That's why when the guys saw us looking at, when we saw those two guys, they unclasped their hands because they were ashamed. And once they got past us, they clasped hands again. So those two niggas are going to be put to death. They're going to take the charagma and they're going to die. You going to die in your unrighteousness. So unseemly means and receive in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat, meaning they're going to ultimately die. Okay, so let's come back. '15 verse. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth. Let's look up the word watcheth. You watching everything around you, and you filtering everything based upon the scriptures. I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth. To watch, metaphorically, give strict attention to, be cautious, active, right? Give strict attention to. So what are you to give strict attention to? This truth. You're supposed to be doing, you should be doing videos every day. Be cautious, active, to take heed lest through remission and indolence, some destructive calamity suddenly overtake one. It says to be vigilant, to be vigilant, 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 to watch, to wake. Matthew 24, verse 42. Watch, therefore, for ye know not that hour, what hour our Lord doeth come. Because he said he's coming as a thief, right? He's not going to come to a thief, as a thief with us because we're watching every day. Uh, 43rd verse. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Because robbing the motherfucker ain't a new phenomenon. They did that back in the ancient world. Matthew 24, verse 13. Watch, therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. So if you out there with your girl on a damn boat or your boy fishing and you ain't did a video in 3 months, that's when the Lord gonna come and get you. And it's talking about the destruction. Right. The Lord cursed out the main disciples, which were the apostles, Peter, James, and John. Matthew 26, verse 40. And he cometh unto the disciples and findeth them asleep. The saying is, don't sleep on this. Be aware. And saith unto Peter, what? Could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Matthew 26, verse 41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. These are all basic foundational scriptures, but they say a lot. Important precept, the 15th verse. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, which means place of a mountain of the troops. It says, and the seventh angel poured out his vial unto the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne saying, it is done. And that's what we're waiting for. And there were voices and thunderings and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake. And what the earthquake is from, that's in Isaiah 24, the earth reeled back and forth like a drunkard from those missiles pelting the earth, such as was not since men were upon the earth. That's Jacob's trouble right there. It says, such as was not since men were upon the earth. Let's see what Daniel 12 says. So that's talking about Jacob's trouble. When all hell breaks loose, when the missiles drop and get beamed up, it says Daniel 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, which is also mentioned in Revelation 12, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, which are the Israelites. And there shall be a time of trouble, Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah 30, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. And at that time, the time of Jacob's trouble, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. So who's written in the book? Let me do this. Revelation 1:11, saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the and the Tha, in the Hebrew, the first and the last. And what thou seest, write in a book. Revelation 3, verse 15. He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white remnant, and I will not blot out his name out of the book of what? The book of life. But I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. Revelation 13, verse 8. Anyone that's written in the book of life is of the elect, and they're not going to take, no matter what, they're not going to take the charagma. Revelation 13:8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names, Revelation 13, that's Revelation 13, that's a major chapter. It says, and all that dwell upon the earth, we dwell on the earth, right? Shall worship him, right? But we're not going to worship him, whose names are not written in the book. So are all Israelites' names written in the book? No. The only ones that names that are written in the book are the elect. The Lamb's book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Revelation 17, verse 8. I'll read from the middle, bottomless pit, going to perdition, whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundation. Revelation 20, verse 12. And I saw the dead, small and great, rich and poor, small and great, stand before the Most High. And the books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the book according to their works. So when they pull out the book on Esau, it ain't gonna look good. Revelation 20, verse 15. And whosoever was not written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. That's that destruction. Shall say the evil shall not overtake and prevent us. Amos 9. Or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life. Let me read that from the top. And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth. Yeah, you can't defile yourself, and like on the Sabbath. You can't have sex on the Sabbath because you're defiling yourself. You can't go into the temple on the Sabbath, go in the temple if you're defiled. Neither whatsoever worketh abomination or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life, which is the elect. Many are called, but few are chosen. Chosen are the elect. Behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of the prophecy of this book. Revelation 22, verse 19. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, the Most High shall take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city and from the things which are written in this book. Now you're going to be destroyed by the Most High, but you're going to come back through the elect that made it. Almost finished. So right here, this is another precept when you go into the time of Jacob's trouble, Revelation 16 and 18, and there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great. 19th verse. And the great city was divided into 3 parts: the sons of men, the sons of the wicked, and the sons of the power. And the cities of the nations fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance before the Most High to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. Let me look up the word fierceness. And this is beautiful, man, that the Most High gave this unto babes. Okay, fierceness. Passion, anger, heat, anger, forthwith, boiling up and soon subsiding again. You know, when you boil a liquid and you go to the bathroom, you come back and the liquid boils up over the pot and the fire getting all blazed up. That's the anger of the Most High. He gonna show his divine anger to Esau, sons of men, sons of the power, which are not of the elect. You cannot, Jacob's troubles is when the destruction comes, man. When the war in heaven takes place. Glow, adore the wine of passion and flaming wine, which either drives the drinker mad or kills him with its strength. Some people, they drink wine, they chill out. Like myself, I drink wine, I chill out. Some people, they drink wine and liquor, they want to fight every goddamn body. So the Most High that's coming, he gonna come like a drunk guy that likes to fight everybody. You know, he tears a whole bar up. Let me say it again. And flaming wine, which either drives the drinker mad. You hit him with the taser, he ain't gonna feel it. That wine, that liquor is gonna preserve him. And you may have to shoot him. I'm almost at the end. '20th verse, and every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hell. That great hell is talking about the ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, and the hypersonic missiles. Russia has a missile called Satan 2, because he is Satan. You got Satan 1 over here on this side of the world, you got Satan 2. Out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent, and they were way bigger than the talent. And men blasphemed the Most High of the plague of the hell for the plague thereof was exceeding great. The ones that are far off, Revelation 18. And we're going to pay them a visit, and we're going to beat them down until they submit. And they're going to submit fairly quickly. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.